Hey guys, how's it going? My name is PK Coltrane and I'm back with another Phantasy Star Online video. So, you're looking to play online on Phantasy Star Online for the GameCube. Now, there's a few things for those of you who are veterans and want to go back, or if you've never played offline and you want to play online, there's a few things I wanted to discuss with you, and there's a few things that you should know before you jump right into the action. Now, the first thing I wanted to discuss is which platform you should play on. Currently, there are 3 platforms you can choose from to play online, not including Blue Burst, which is on the PC. This is strictly for the GameCube version, Phantasy Star Online Episode 1 and 2, and Plus versions as well. Now, before I go over the 3 platforms you can play on, I've heard people playing their copies on a Wii U, but the process to get that to work seems completely insane and not worth the time, to be honest. It just sounds like a big headache. So I'm just going to talk about 3 of them today. Now, the first one I want to talk about is the GameCube. The GameCube is about the easiest one you can set up. All you need is a broadband adapter and the game, and that's pretty much it. You can just plug in your Ethernet cable, set up the IP address for the server you want to play on, and that's it. But that's as far as I can really go in terms of pros. The GameCube has its limitations. Unless you, of course, have a super modded GameCube that's able to read ISOs rather than play the game on disc, I wouldn't really recommend it. There's just far too many things you can do with the other platforms that are far more superior, and in my opinion, the other 2 are just better. The GameCube is just the most expensive way to play the game, and what I mean by that is the broadband adapter nowadays is very expensive. $120 online was probably like the cheapest one I found. Very, very expensive. And of course, if you don't have the game, you're gonna have to pay for the game too, which is like easily another $80 to $100. And if you want the Plus version as well, that's gonna be even more. Now, I'm not bashing on the GameCube version at all. I think it's a perfectly fine way to play the game. In fact, you'll even have faster loading times on the quests compared to players on the Dolphin emulator version, which I find pretty funny. But then again, the game was designed to be played on a GameCube. But I just find that really funny. But if you do plan on playing on a GameCube, you're just going to need to find a way to back up your saves. And you're going to need to find yourself a way to get your stuff back when you do crash. And that was a pretty big thing back in the day. So just keep an eye out for that stuff. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is Dolphin emulators. Dolphin emulators are a great way to play the game if you don't have access to a Wii and if you don't have access to a GameCube. And if your computer's strong enough to play GameCube games via ISOs with the Dolphin emulator, then by all means, go for it. The only problem is it can be a bit of a hassle to connect online with the Dolphin emulator. It does require you to do a few things that you might need help with, but in the end, I think it's all worth it because it's Phantasy Star Online. Duh. Playing on Dolphin is a great way to play the game. You are able to play patched versions of the ISO for the game, and you are able to back up your saves. And you're still able to play with GameCube and Wii players. It's kind of like some weird form of cross-platforming. Now, I haven't played on a Dolphin emulator, but I have played with people that do play on Dolphin, and it just seems like a perfectly fine way to play the game. The only ridiculous thing that I've seen is the crazy long load times for quests. If you can tolerate that, then by all means, go for it. The gameplay that you see before you is being played on a Nintendo Wii. In my opinion, the Nintendo Wii is the best way to play. You're able to back up your saves, you're able to play patched ISOs, and it's not as expensive as the GameCube, and on top of that, it's not much of a hassle to connect online. The only bad thing I can honestly say about the Nintendo Wii is that you can't just pop in your disc and play online. It will require you to homebrew your Wii, and you will need to install 2 applications called CleanRip and Devolution. Now, to go over the 2 applications that I just went over, CleanRip and Devolution are very important. What CleanRip does, it allows you to rip the ISO from the disc and put it into your SD card, and it's not gonna destroy your disc. It basically copies it, and you'll still be able to use your disc, but it allows you to patch the ISO with other applications on your computer. And Devolution is a application that loads those ISOs. Now, the reason why you need Devolution is that Devolution does emulate a broadband adapter for the Nintendo Wii, so you're able to play online. Now, despite the pros and cons of each platform to play on, you shouldn't be discouraged on picking one for a particular reason. All three ways are a perfectly fine way to play, and if you have access to a GameCube, if you have access to a Wii, if you have access to your good computer to play out Dolphin emulators, go for it. I think it's perfectly worth it, and you shouldn't be discouraged to pick one just because of a certain flaw, basically. Now, I did mention something about patched ISOs. Yes, you are able to patch your ISO to enhance your gameplay experience. Some of the examples of the patches that I have one that warns me when my mag is ready to be fed, and I have another patch that gains me the ability to use all of my spells and items with a flick of a C-stick. It's really useful for Force characters. You're really useful for any character, really. Really awesome patches. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is FSODs and memory card corruption. Yes, FSODs are still a thing. The frozen screen of death that causes you to lose all your unequipped items and you lose all your rares. But like I said, you can back up your saves. Basically what I do at the end of each session, I go to the application on my homebrewed Wii and I just back up everything that I did on that day. It takes like a minute, not too hard, and it'll save you the headache of losing all your years of hard work. It's actually pretty funny that I'm talking about this because about a week or two ago, I actually experienced my very first FSOD, and man, was I panicking. I thought my GameCube was messed up, but luckily, the people that I was playing with did explain what was going on, and they did warn me that I was going to lose my stuff, but they were kind enough to help me restore my items, and it kind of scared me into getting a Wii so I can get the GameCube memory manager so I can back up all my saves, which is gonna lead me to the last thing I wanted to talk about, and that is to join a Discord community. Communication for this game is as strong as ever, and I do recommend to join a Discord full of people that share this passion of Phantasy Star Online with you. Depending on what server you do plan on playing on, I'm sure there's a Discord filled with people that play on your server that will be able to give you advice and play with you if you need somebody to play with. Now, before I end this video, I just want to say, playing online, it's a blast, guys. If you've never played online before, it's going to be a whole new experience. And for those of you who are veterans and want to play online again, there are options for you to play online again, and there are options for you to back up your saves so you don't experience the dreaded FSOD. If you found this video informative in any type of way, like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next video, and have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Peace out. Have a good one.